So is the wooden dummy a legitimate use for JKD in karate? It has the short arms on it, the little leg. But you can see here I'm going around the back of it, and I was really going around the back of a person. I'm hitting their head. I should be using my palms. I'm holding back because the metal underneath the padding is quite hard. So I have to mute my punches a little bit, otherwise it kind of hurts. I may try to use it with gloves, soft gloves, that might help, but then you don't really get the realistic feeling of the when you come around the front where the arms and the legs. Well, did Bruce Lee, did he use the wooden dummy? Yes, he did, actually. I did a little research, found out that he, in fact, did use a wooden dummy. So what is the purpose of a wooden dummy? I believe it was invented possibly from combining 108 different pieces into one model so that southern Chinese monks could practice on it. And then Ip Man, he modified it too so he could use it in his apartment. So it's meant to be training in small spaces. The purpose is for a more realistic live feel versus dead feel. Be able to use the chi. So what is chi? Well, that's considered life energy. A lot of people try to put purpose on it, but it's difficult to explain. But that's what part of the wooden dummy is for. But I don't know if you knew this, but Bruce Lee modified his wooden dummy by putting, so you can see the wooden dummy here where the leg is way down towards the bottom. So Bruce, he put the metal plate about 3 inches below the middle wooden stick coming out of the wooden dummy. And so in other words, he moved it up to below 3 inches below the second arm on the bottom, or the middle arm that you see. And it was metal, of all things. And he had it mounted on a wall, so it was, when you hit it, the wood that it was mounted on would absorb the punches and kicks. So the purpose of a wooden dummy, again, more realistic live feel, to experience chi, and to train in small spaces, and to be realistic. How does Wing Chun differ from JKD or Jeet Kune Do? Wing Chun is meant for close quarters. It's meant to feel the opponent's attack. It's meant to attack in a straight line, to take their center line. And it's a system built around simple forms. But it does take a long time to learn from people who are good at it. And you ask them, it takes a little bit of doing to get to know it. Whereas, what is JKD? Well, JKD is more a concept. It's not a system. So Bruce, in 1964, he thought he had a system called Jun Fang Gung Fu. Now, correct my pronunciation. I apologize if I didn't do good on that. But when he fought Wong Jackman, though, he realized that you just couldn't really define a martial art into a system, because basically it's taking the best of all martial arts and combining them. So JKD he thought was a mirror to see himself. So he would take what worked and he'd throw it. What worked, he'd use it, and then what didn't work, he wouldn't use it. But it's meant to be easy through a minimum of movement to get a result that could only be experienced through real combat, sports, fighting a real fight, or sparring. JKD kind of eschews or cancels the traditional methods. It's more a hybrid. It's not really a system, because as soon as you define JKD, you've actually gone beyond what JKD means, because JKD means that each person finds what works for them and uses it and tests it by sparring or fighting, whatever. And so it may be different for each person. Now, there are common threads in JKD that everybody who does learn JKD, they do learn, like the straight lead is the main punch of JKD, and there is precedent set for what that is and how to do it. JKD is not even JKD, because as soon as you define it, it's no longer JKD. It's not a system. It again is the best of what works for you. And it's meant to be the system that incorporates all the different ranges. For example, you have attack the attack. Excuse me. So JKD is meant to master the 4 ranges of combat. So you don't ask which is best. Rather, it's to obtain competence in each of the 4 ranges. So it's a culmination of learning that adheres to simple is better than complex, cast off what is useless. JKD is random. It's not meant to practice a certain set of moves and then expect to use those in a fight. No, rather it teaches you skills that you have to come up with as the fight ensues or as it's going on. So hopefully your training has allowed you to master certain close in, farther away, long range, grappling, on the ground, etc. It's meant to allow you to be competent in each of those ranges. Bruce thought JKD should allow you to attack the attack. So as soon as you recognize there's an attack, you should be going after that attack. So that's what the intercepting fist is talking about. And non-telegraphic. JKD is meant to be non-telegraphic. So instead of winding up a punch or winding back a kick, you start from your current position. In Sistema, that's a lot what they do in Sistema, though. They can punch from anywhere, and it's meant to be non-telegraphic. Another characteristic of JKD is explosive and fast. It's not meant to spar with JKD for 3 minutes. You'd be out of breath by then, but most people, at least I am. But it's meant to end a fight in very few seconds. So explosive and fast, JKD. Simple angular attack, simple direct attack, hand immobilizing attack, progressive indirect attack, attack by combination, and attack by drawing. Those are the 5 ways of attack that JKD practitioners learn along the way. And finally, JKD is meant to control the center line just like Wing Chun. You take their center line, takes away their balance, takes away the control of their body. When I started off on this JKD dummy, those are the things I was trying to look at is, okay, so this is a tool. Bruce, when he had his, an Ip Man, the JKD dummy is meant to be able to move, to feel like it's a live target. So by putting it on sandbags here, you can see it allows it to move and to react to make sure that you don't hit it too hard because it hurts. So anyway, hopefully this discussion helped you.